Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Fraser Field for Interleague Baseball. Right back at it in English. They had a big win over Lynn Glasgow last night. Didn't have a lot of time to enjoy it because they're right back here tonight taking on in this interleague battle. Lynn English taking on former Northeastern Conference foe, Saugus. This game was supposed to be played on Saturday afternoon, and that was during all the rain. It got rained out. So they're making it up now. So it's English against Saugus. The Bulldogs against the Sachems. Esteban Paula, the head guy for English. A few former Saugus very good players coaching. Head coach Mike Mabey, along with assistant coaches Joe Bertrand, Dan Bertrand. Those are numbers I remember from doing Saugus games in the past. Now they're coaching their teams. Saugus comes in at 5-9. English jumped 2 games over 500 last night as they split the series so far with Lynn Glasgow. English is 7-5, and I say so far because depending on how things fall, they could play again against each other in the Mullins tournament coming up in a very short time. Carrier Benson, you can pick him off. He's wearing his bright green cleats, I should say, on the mound for English. He's throwing to the catcher, Elian Pena. And Braden Crawford, the third baseman for Saugus, will lead it off. Down and away for a ball. Last night's game was a marathon. Starting at 7, didn't get out of here till after 10. With an awful lot of walks, wild pitches, a couple of errors, hit batsmen. 18 runs scored. English got 12 of them. They beat Glasgow 12-6. Hit to shortstop. Beato to Gilbert Galva. 1 up, 1 down. Smooth play by Beato to shortstop. Tough loss for Glasgow last night. They're already in the state tournament, but they were tied for first with Medford and Malden, and now that knocks them out of first place. Saugus is a family atmosphere here today. This is Cam Sirocco, the center fielder. On deck is Nathan Sirocco, the catcher. And down the line, Ty Ryler is the second baseman, and Trey Riley is the designated hitter. So Sirocco's and Riley brothers in the starting lineup for Saugus. Down the way for a ball. We do not have the scoreboard today working. Nobody to run it. Missing low again. Waved at that pitch was down and away. High for a ball. I still can't get used to English wearing white and black. It was always red and gray. Glasgow now wears black, and they were green and gold. Chop foul toward the Saugus dugout. Hit high in the air to deep center field, drifting back. Galva off his glove. They're going to hold him up. It's a triple. Sirocco, he hit that a long way. Galva almost made a great catch. He had to go way back close to the warning track, had to reach up over his shoulder to try and make the catch. So Saugus has a threat, a runner at third with one out. Cam Sirocco is at third. Nathan Sirocco can bring him home. So this could be a family affair getting the run in. First two pitches miss, 2-0. Danny Zietz, the first baseman, on deck. Hit foul toward the English dugout. Chased that pitch, was way up and in. Almost head high, way inside, he swung through it. Hit foul past third base, hit it well. Bounced out a little more than halfway down the third base line. Benson was ready. Sirocco asked for time and got it. Thought about it, held up, the pitch was high. The Lynn Jets lacrosse going on at Manning Field. Always something going on at Manning Field. And misses for ball 4. So the Siroccos, Cam and Nathan, are at first and third with one out for Danny Zietz, the first baseman. They throw it down, the runner stayed at third. Nathan Sirocco steals second, so now it's second and third with one out. Pena threw it down, the runner at third didn't advance. Hit foul back up in the seats. And there aren't many people to chase foul balls because there aren't that many fans here. Popped up, and running out of real estate is Gilbert Galvey. Almost ran into the fence. Down away for a ball. Missing again down the way. Didn't miss by much. Reached for that one. That was way up and in. He tomahawked it, pulled it foul past third base. Over but low. Benson's having trouble keeping his hat on. Strike 3 called. He thought it was ball 4. He was on his way to first base. Umpire rung him up. That's a big strikeout. So now there's 2 outs with second and third. Jordan Rodriguez, the shortstop, is the hitter. Hit foul to the backstop. I'm not sure why, but we got a conference coming out to the mound. It didn't look like he pulled anything or hurt anything. It breaks up quickly. So second and third with 2 outs. Down the way for a ball. He's been close, but just missing on that pitch. Hit to third, knocked down. They can't make the play. Looked like an easy play for 3 outs. Saugus going to get on the board with the error. Looks like Benson was getting out. A hard shot. They had plenty of time to make a play. And even when they dropped it, they still had a chance, but they dropped it behind them and had to go get it. And the error gives Saugus a run. And Connor Bloom, the left fielder, would get the hit. So it looked like they were going to get out of it. Instead, Saugus grabs a 1-0 lead. Hit high in the air to the infield. Benson, who's an infielder when he's not pitching, makes the play. So they get out of the inning, but the error really hurt. Looked like Benson got himself out of a jam after giving up a triple and a walk, but the error brings the run home. The walk didn't help either, extending the inning. So before Cam Bernard, the pitcher, throws a pitch, he's got a 1-0 lead. Bernard will be throwing to Nathan Sirocco. For English, he would be out of the shortstop, leading off. Playing center field and batting second, Gilman Galvo. Pitching and batting third, Jariel Benson. The first baseman, Gilbert Galvo, will hit in the cleanup spot. Batting fifth and playing left field, Julian Rodriguez. The third baseman, Wilfredo Perez, will hit number 6. Playing second base and batting seventh, Engel Thomas, who got the win last night, and the game he pitched before, pitched a no-hitter. Josue Brandy, the right fielder, will hit number 8, and bringing up the tail end of the batting order, batting in the number 9 spot, is the catcher, Elian Pena. So Eward Beato will look to get it started. Very good fielding shortstop. Down and in for a ball. In for a strike. I was about to say up and in, but it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Hit high in the air. Shortstop a foot or 2 on the outfield turf. Makes the play. So 1 up, 1 down for the Bulldogs. And Gilbert Galva had an auspicious start against Glasgow last night. First inning, he tripled and scored the first run. Got up in the second inning, hit a shot to the deepest part of the ballpark, dead center field, all the way to the fence for a 2-run inside the park home run. And he came in and pitched the last 2 innings. And was involved in a double play. A line drive to center field. The runner on second was stealing third and couldn't get back in time. Galva threw to second to complete the double play. So he had a big night last night. That one goes to the backstop. Hit in the air outside third base in foul territory. Had to come back. He overran it. And the third baseman Crawford wound up making a one-handed catch almost ankle high as he almost overran it. Came back and made the play. So a pop up to short, a pop up to third, 2 quick outs. Jariel Benson, the pitcher, is the hitter. Wide for a ball. Pernand is one of many. It used to be the pitchers would get a wind-up and throw. Now everybody pitches from the stretch. I don't know where the first baseman was going. Shaped at first, off the bag. The first baseman, all he had to do was go to first base. There was no way he was going to make the play. It was hit right to the second baseman. He went way off the bag like he was going to field the ground ball, and he didn't get back to the bag, and the error allows Benson to reach. Let's see if they try to get him to second base. Gilbert Galva hits it in the air. Crawford again in foul territory, and again almost overran it, and again he makes the little one-handed catch down around knee-high, ankle-high. He almost misplayed both pop-ups, but he came up with both catches. So the error doesn't hurt. Crawford, the third baseman, well, often see the third baseman get 2 putouts in 1 inning. So we played an inning in this interleague battle. Saugus with the unearned run, leading English 1-0. 7, 8, and 9 for Saugus. We got the second inning. This will be the first half of the Riley family. This is Ty Riley, the second baseman. He'll be followed by Trey Riley, the DH. So the Sirocco's bat second and third. The Rileys bat 7th and 8th. Benson starts his second inning. That pitch is over but low. Swing and a miss. Missing low for a ball. Solid shot into left field for a base hit. Rodriguez, the left field, does a nice job. That could have been extra bases. He holds it to a single. So Ty Riley gets a base hit. It brings up Trey Riley. He's the DH hitting for the pitcher, Cam Bernard. On the corner for a strike. Hit to third. They get one. They don't get two. Nice play. Perez with the backhanded stop. Got it over to Thomas at second base. They get the important one, the one in the middle. That was a solid shot. That could be trouble if it goes by. Perez took one step, reached across, backhanded it. Made the good strong throw to second base. In for a strike. Javi Cruz Fuentes, the right fielder, is the hitter. Flash the butt, pops it up, but too far back for anybody to go get it. Gets a piece and fouls it off the helmet of Elian Pena. Down and away for a ball. High for a ball. Again, Benson lost his hat. Swing and a miss. He gets him. Second strikeout for Benson. And we're back to the top of the order. Braden Crawford, the third baseman, grounded out. Short to first to start the game. Hit foul up in the seats. Long walk for the people behind home plate to go chase foul balls. Hit to right center field. Galva came running over, and at the last minute he reached up and picked it over his shoulder. Crawford hit that a long way. Gilmer Galva tracked it down. So the leadoff single doesn't hurt. Saugus is down in the top of the second. Benson picked up his second strikeout, and we'll move into the bottom half of the second. It'll be 5, 6, and 7 for English as they try to make up the one run that Saugus has on the board, leading 1-0. We mentioned the Mullins tournament. Won't be long now. This being Tuesday, a week from this coming Friday, the tournament will start. It'll be English taking on Swampscott and Classical taking on St. Mary's. The games will be at 4 and 7, honoring an outstanding young man. Dougie Mullins was a very good athlete. He started out as an assistant coach, became a head coach, and he touched a lot of people. He helped a lot of young men through his coaching, and he stayed with them even after they left the program. He still worked hard to help everybody, and he was taken way too soon, way too soon. And it's nice that they can remember him with the tournament. They've given out, I believe, $12,000. So I think this is the fourth coming up, because I believe it's $1,000 per team. One individual gets a $1,000 scholarship. And it's only fitting to honor a great gentleman who was missed by an awful lot of people and left way too soon. In for a strike to Julian Rodriguez. Chased that pitch, was way over his head. Swung right through it, 0-2. Hit in the air. Long run for the catcher. Not going to get there. It's up in the seats. English has a tough time. They don't have a field to practice on. Oh. Glasgow comes out of their school. They have Breed right next door. English used to have Memorial. I don't know what they're doing at Memorial Park. It's been fenced in, it seems, forever. And I never see anybody working there. I see a lot of equipment, trucks. I never see anybody working there. So the softball teams, the lacrosse teams, soccer teams, football teams can't practice there. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Football teams actually come all the way up here to Fraser Field to practice out on this baseball diamond. In for a strike to Wilfredo Perez, the third baseman. I watched the baseball team as I walked through the parking lot walking my dog. They were loosening up in the basketball courts. They were actually fielding ground balls and playing catch and making throws, and pitchers were pitching in the basketball courts at Memorial. So I don't know what they're doing, but it's taken a very long time. Up and away for a ball. I don't know if they found something, like when they first created the new classical high school and they found all that stuff in the turf, in the dirt. Wilfredo Perez, the third baseman, also does some pitching. Way up and in for a ball. That one hits him. So English has a runner as Perez tries to shake it off going to first base. They're going to get timeout. As a first base coach will check him out. He got hit in the left shoulder. Engel Thomas pitched well last night through 5 innings. Gave up 3 runs, but 2 of them unearned on a fly ball that was dropped in the outfield. And we mentioned the time before he pitched a no-hitter. Very nice job by the English young man. He's the second baseman in this one. Hit foul. Up in the seats, it bounced back. Saugus players were surprised. It bounced back and hit one of the Saugus players in the dugout. Bouncing off the stairs into the dugout. Chased that pitch. It was way down and away. Wasn't going to come close to hitting that pitch. Quickly, it's 0-2. Waves at the pitch again. He looked to run, but he can't run. First base is occupied. So 2 swinging strikeouts here. Sandwiched around a hit batsman. Josue Prandy, the right fielder, will be the hitter. Thomas took the first pitch down the middle and then swung at 2 pitches that were way out of the strike zone. So Bernard got help with that strikeout. Over but low. Can't umpire from here. That looked like a perfect pitch. Way up and in. In for a strike. Right down the middle. Up and in. He took the pitch right down the middle. He swung at the pitch that was up and in. So Bernard has a pretty good inning, striking out all three of them swinging strikeouts. He hit a batter. So he's given up 2 base runners, an error in the first inning and a hit batsman in the second. But he struck out 3. And he's kept English off the board, and it's still Saugus 1, English nothing at the end of 2. 2, 3, and 4 for Saugus as we start the 3rd inning. Cam Sirocco is the difference in the game. After an out, he tripled to deep center field. It looked like Benson was going to get out of it. After a walk, put runs at first and third. Benson got a big strikeout. And then a hard shot to third, looked like the 3rd out, but it was misplayed. And the run scored, and that's the difference in the game. 1-0 Saugus as we start the 3rd inning. First 2 are down the way. Cam Sirocco was the center fielder. Nathan Sirocco, the catcher, on deck as it's high for ball 3. On 4 pitches, Sirocco's on for the second time. Second walk given up by Benson. The first walk is coming to home plate, Nathan Sirocco. He followed brother Cam Sirocco's triple with a walk and stole second. They were at second and third. The run scored on the error. In for a strike. The runner takes off. The ball's hit in the air to left field. Rodriguez rolls back and makes the one-handed catch. Hustling back to first is Cam Sirocco. Nathan Sirocco hit that a long way. Julian Rodriguez, who does a nice job in the outfield. tracked it down, going back and reaching up and making the one-handed catch. Danny Zeitz thought he had a base on balls, and he got called out on strikes. He was 3 or 4 feet down the first base line, thinking ball 4. And the umpire had his right arm up saying strike 3. Zeitz is the Sachem's first baseman. The runner takes off in easily with a stolen base. He got a big jump. So Saugus has a runner in scoring position with 1 out. Timeout. Pena had some equipment that he had to take care of behind the plate. Hit to right center field. Galver on the play. What a play! That's an ESPN highlight. What an outstanding play. That looked like at least a double, maybe a triple. Was going to be a run for Saugus. Galva playing straight away for the right-hand hitter, went way over to right center field, dove and picked it off the turf. What an outstanding play. He has made a lot of those plays. He's an outstanding outfielder. Jordan Rodriguez hit it hard right at the third baseman, and when it was misplayed, he reached and the run scored. That one bounces off Pena. The wild pitch moves Sirocco over to third. So they're 90 feet away from making it 2-0. High for a ball. Nice stop by Pena on a pitch down the turf. Rodriguez draws a walk. Second walk in the inning. Third walk in 3 innings given up by Benson. Connor Bloom, the left fielder, popped it straight up in the air out in front of home plate, and Benson, the pitcher, took care of it for the third out. The runner was off and running, and Bloom fouled it to the English dugout. And the runner goes. That's their third stolen base. So it's second and third. Second time they've had second and third. The first time was the error, allowed the run to score. Hit, just got a piece of it, tips it to the backstop. So Bloom was one swing of the bat from getting Saugus maybe a 2-0 lead. A 3-0 lead with runners at second and third. Benson one strike away from getting out of a jam. Reached, the pitch was way up and away. Fouled it off. Down and in for a ball. Took a long look at that one. Hit in here to right field, starting in, now having to go back. English fans got a little gasp with that one. Frangie, the right fielder, looked like he was coming in, making an easy catch. All of a sudden, he backed up and reached over his shoulder and made the play. So 3 pretty good plays in the outfield. Takes away Saugus' threat with the 2 walks they got. Benson gives up 2 walks but gets out of the inning and keeps it a 1-0 game. Bernard will start his 3rd inning of work, still holding on to that 1-0 cushion. It'll be 9-1-2 for the Bulldogs. English last night was hitting the ball all over the park. This one they haven't got a hit yet. And Bernard had 3 strikeouts in the 2nd inning. Elian Pena, the catcher, will lead it off. Back to the top of the order, Eward Beato. High for a ball. In for a strike. Good pitch on the corner. Evens the count at 1. Hit way up in the air. The shortstop Rodriguez came almost all the way to the 3rd baseman Crawford to make the play. So pop-ups and strikeouts have been the outs for the Bulldogs. Eward Beato popped up to the shortstop his first trip. That's going to be up in the seats. Down the way for a ball. Down the way again. High for ball, goes 3-1. That's ball 4. So English has hit the trifecta on base runners. An error in the 1st inning, a hit batsman in the 2nd inning, a walk here in the 3rd inning. Kilmagalva made that outstanding defensive play. That was unbelievable. And that was Hughes with a runner at 2nd base. So the run was going to score. It was going to be a double, maybe a triple if Gilmer hits the ground and there's nobody back behind him. Might even been a home run. Tries to bunt, pops it back foul. So that was a very big play in that inning. Hit in the air. Shortstop again. Rodriguez makes the play. That's been the norm. Third baseman's caught 2. Shortstop's caught 3. Pitcher struck out 3. Those are the 8 outs. No ground balls from the infield. No fly balls to the outfield. Pop-ups and strikeouts. Jariel Benson reached on an error. Swing and a miss. Got his money's worth on that swing and swung right through it. High for a ball. Swing and a miss again. Hit foul to the backstop. Two outs for runner at first here in the bottom of the third. We finally get one out of the infield, and the center fielder, Cam Sirocco, was going to make the play. That's the first out. This is not a pop-up or a strikeout. So once again, English gets a base runner, but can't move him around. They haven't got anybody to second base yet. We finished 3 in this interleague battle. Northeastern Conference against Greater Boston League. Saugus leading English 1-0. Ty Riley will lead it off, followed by Trey Riley as we start the 4th inning. Over but low. He singled and was forced out at second base. In for a strike. And again, Benson lost his hat. High for a ball. And there goes the hat again. Maybe they can find a way to tape it on. Hit up the middle. Viedo. Very nice play. Made that look easy. He went way to his left, fielded it nicely. Good strong throw over to Gilbert Galva. Took away what looked like a base hit from Ty Riley. Made it look easy for the first out. He does a very nice job at shortstop. Trey Riley hit it well. Wilfredo Perez backhanded it, taking a step towards third base and got the force at second base, took a hit away. He hit it well enough to get a hit. Perez made a very nice defensive play. Line down in that grassy knoll behind first base. Way up and in for a ball. Swing and a miss. Riley is the designated hitter hitting for the pitcher. He bounced into that fielder's choice, as I mentioned, with Perez making a very nice defensive play. Hit foul. Up in the seats. Nobody over there to chase that foul ball. Not that many people here. High for a ball. This being Tuesday afternoon with a 4 o'clock start. Hit the shot again. Beato again. Very smooth. Made that look easy. Two up, two down, thanks to Eward Beato. Javi Cruz Fuentes, the right fielder, struck out swinging his one trip. Squared the bunt, took it down the way for a ball. Top of the order on deck for the Sachems. Tries to bunt. Safe. I'm going to give him a base hit. That was a nice bunt. Pena had to field it, had to make a good strong throw. It drew Gilbert off the bag. So I'm going to actually give an error to the catcher because it looked like he was going to throw him out. And he threw it wide of first base. Galva had to come off the bag. So that extends the inning for Braden Crawford, who grounded a shot and hit a solid shot that Galva tracked down. So he's 0 for 2 against Benson. Up and away for a ball. In for a strike. Hit back to the mound. Benson, we mentioned he's an infielder when he's not pitching, so the error doesn't hurt. Saugus leaves another base runner. We're halfway through the ball game, and that unearned run in the first inning is the difference. Saugus leading it 1-0. And it will be the middle of the order, 4, 5, 6 for English in the bottom of the fourth. Cam Bernard will start his fourth inning of work. Perfect day here. Just a smattering of clouds, big blue sky, sun shining brightly. Nice, very nice day. A little different than last week when we had the heavy rain and games were wiped out. Saturday, we're happy that all the mothers had a great day. Belated Happy Mother's Day to everyone. We're glad the weather was good. Everybody had a great day. We hope everybody had a exceptionally good Mother's Day. Certainly well deserved. Gilbert Galva popped up to the third baseman. His one trip. In for a strike. In for strike 2. waves at that pitch for strike 3. Four strikeouts for Bernard. He got 3 of them in the second inning. Julian Rodriguez struck out swinging his 1 trip. Hit foul back to the screen. That's going to make it up in the seats. Trey Riley set up outside. He put it right on the glove, hoping that Rodriguez would chase, but he laid off with the pitch down and away. That's going to be back over everything out of play. Back in the direction of Western Avenue. Hit to short. And a throw in the turf. Rodriguez made a nice play at shortstop. It was a short hop. He fielded it nicely, threw it on the fly, and bounced it to first base. And Rodriguez will reach on the error. Wilfredo Perez got hit by a pitch his 1 trip. In for a strike. Punched again, nobody covering first base. The first baseman went way over. Had no play on the ball. It was going to be to the second baseman. And the first baseman was way off the bag again, but Saugus got a break. The pitcher came out and fielded it. Fielded the throw from the second baseman. English has their first runner at second base. It comes with 2 outs. A little punch towards first base, and again the first baseman went way off the bag. That happened in the first inning. It wound up with an error with Benson reaching. It didn't do any damage. Now he went way off the bag. Second baseman, easy play, but they made it look hard because the pitcher had to get over and cover first. And good hustle by Bernard to help himself. High for a ball. Engel Thomas struck out swinging. In for a strike. Nice stop by the catcher, Sirocco, on a pitch down and away. Hit out front to the mound. Bernard will take care of himself. So again, English gets a base runner with the error. They've had a base runner in each of the 4 innings. They don't have a hit yet. 2 errors, a hit batsman, and a walk have been the 4 hitters. Now, excuse me, Thomas is back up. I guess they said it hit him in the foot. So they called it a foul ball. Missing wide for a ball. Popped up in the center field. Sirocco makes the one-handed catch. So English gets their first run at the second base, but it's left there. They're still looking for their first hit, and they're still trailing. It's still Saugus 1, English nothing going into the fifth. In the fifth, it'll be 2, 3, and 4 for Saugus. The Sirocco family will lead it off. Cam Sirocco, the center fielder, followed by Nathan Sirocco, the catcher, and then Danny Zietz, the first baseman. Wide for a ball. Sirocco tripled in the first inning. Looked like Benson was going to get out of it, but an infield error brought the run home, and that's the difference right now. He walked the last time up. Made it as far as third, but didn't score thanks to that outstanding play by Gilmer Galver in center field. Missing again. That was awful close. Backed away, tried to check a swing. The ball hit the bat and rolled down the first base line. He got a break. It just kicked out foul. That was going to be ball 4. He backed away, and the ball went off the bat and just dribbled down the first base line. And it just kicked foul. So Sirocco got a break there. In for a strike. Sirocco shakes his head yes. Benson loses his hat again. Benson trying to come all the way back. He was 3-0. And he loses him. Second time Sirocco was walked. Third time in 5 innings, Saugus got the leadoff hitter on. Nathan Sirocco walked and lined out Julian Rodriguez in left field, making a nice play. And Saugus steals second base. That's Cam Sirocco's second steal. They're 4 for 4 in stolen bases. High and tight for a ball. In for a strike, good pitch. Way up and in, he hits it a long way to left field. And there's Rodriguez again, doing a very nice job in left field. He went a long way out in foul territory and tracked that one down. Rodriguez in left, Galver in center are outstanding outfielders for English. They cover a lot of ground and make very nice plays. They help the pitching staff out immensely. Hit in the air. Galver makes the play. The runner will tag up. Galva went a long way into right center field. Prandy was there. Prandy just got out of the way and let Galva take it. Second time that Zeitz has gone. The last time was when Galva made that outstanding play and took what could have been extra bases, maybe even a home run, because when he dove, he was down on the ground. If he didn't make the play, it was going to roll to the fence. So Sirocco again is at third base. Jordan Rodriguez reached on an error and walked. Popped up. Thomas, the second baseman, makes the one-handed catch, a step out in the turf. So Saugus gets another runner as far as third base. And they leave him there. So they're getting frustrated as well, but English is getting more frustrated because they're down 1-0. So we're moving to the bottom of the fifth. It'll be 8-9-1 for the Bulldogs. Bernard is coasting so far. He hit a batter, walked a batter. The only other two hitters to reach were two infield errors. And English has only got one runner as far as second base. And that came with 2 outs in the fourth inning. Josue Prandy, the right fielder, will be the hitter. He struck out swinging. He'll be followed by Elian Pena, and in the top of the order, Eward Beato. A far cry from last night when English against Clausel scored in every inning except the seventh. They put 12 on the board. They were hitting the ball all over the place. Gilmer Galva had a triple and a home run his first 2 at bats last night. Now going into the fifth, English doesn't have a hit. Josue Prandy will try to get something going for the Bulldogs. Way up and in. High again, 2-0. Way wide, 3-0. He'll be taking a long look, maybe looking at 2. They need a base runner. On 4 pitches, Prandy draws a walk. Second walk given up by Bernard. Elian Pena pops to the shortstop. English only got the ball out of the infield twice, 2 fly balls to center field. Everything else has been pop-ups and strikeouts. In for a strike. Five pop-ups, 4 strikeouts. Pena gets the bunt down. Play goes 2-3 for the out. So English has the tying run at second with 1 out. Only the second runner to reach second base for the Bulldogs. The other one came with 2 outs. Chopped foul towards the English dugout. In for a strike, quickly 0-2. Nice stop by the catcher, Sirocco. And I have to say Nathan Sirocco because there's two of them. Breaks low again, evens the count at 2. Strike 3 call, he took that pitch. Gilmagava has popped up and popped up. Once to the third baseman, once to the shortstop. 5 strikeouts for Cam Bernard. Missing wide for a ball. Down and away for a ball. In for a strike. Down and away for a ball. Took a good look at that one. Solid shot, base hit, and it's going to tie the game up. So the first hit of the game goes to Gilmagava. He made that great defensive play. Now he makes an offensive play. The first hit knocks in the run. So the walk hurt along with the sacrifice. Brandy scores the run and ties the game up. A big double by Galva. Benson can help himself here. All of a sudden, the English fans have come to life. They get their first hit of the game with 2 outs in the 5th inning. Solid shot, just pulled it foul. Watch that one drop in for a strike. Hit the center field, right at the center field. Couldn't have been playing any perfect for Benson. He had a ton, he hit it right at the center fielder. But the walk hurt. It helped get the run to the second base with the sacrifice. And then the first hit of the game goes to Gilmagava. A double knocks in the run. And we're right back where we started. We started even. We played 5 innings, and we're even. English won, Saugus won, going into the 6th. Few changes for the Bulldogs. Benson goes to second base. Thomas goes to left field. And the new pitcher, Julian Rodriguez, takes the mound coming in from left field. And I believe it's Kyle Furlong behind the plate for the Bulldogs. So Benson goes 5, strikes out 2, walks 4, gives up only 2 base hits. The 1 run was unearned. He did a good job. Connor Bloom, the left fielder, will lead off. He's popped to the pitcher and lined to right field. Fishing wide for a ball. Popped up. Long run, nobody's going to get there. In the direction of the English bench. It's one of those parks where there's a lot of room behind home plate. Foul again. Hit right at the shortstop. You reached for that one and just punched it right to the shortstop. So 1 away in the 6th. Ty Riley, the second baseman, singled and grounded to short. Way down and in. High for a ball. That one bounced out in front of home plate. That was 3 or 4 feet short of home plate. In for a strike. Hit in the air. Long run coming on. It drops in for a base hit. So Ty Riley becomes the go-ahead run at first base, and Trey Riley, the DH, will be the hitter, hitting for the pitcher Bernard. He's bounced in with fielder's choice and grounded out short to first. Only the 3rd hit for Saugus. English only has 1. Punch foul, the runner was off and running and got a good jump. They've already stolen 4 bases. Four for 4. Swing and a miss, no chance to throw him out. They're now 5 for 5. So the go-ahead run at second with 1 out. Trey Riley trying to bring in Ty Riley. Hit to second base. Benson way to his left makes the play. And the go-ahead run moves a little closer, 90 feet away. Over to third. And Javi Cruz Fuentes has struck out. And bunted and reached on the arrow when the throw pulled the first baseman off the bag. The runner coming home. He was stealing home. I don't know, they were like a suicide squeeze with 2 outs. The runner was coming home from third base, and he got tagged out. I don't know if that was supposed to. He squared away like he was going to bunt. He missed it, and Furlong almost didn't realize the runner was coming home. He almost didn't tag the runner. But Saugus comes that close to breaking the tie. They got another run at the third. They've had runners at third for a while. But neither team, until Galva got the first hit for English, that's the one big hit that English has in the game to tie the game up. Other than that, neither team has been able to get the big hits to knock in the runs. It'll be the middle of the order for English. Gilbert Galva, Julian Rodriguez, Wilfredo Perez. To face Cam Bernal, who's done a nice job. He's starting his 6th inning of work. He's only given up 1 base hit. But unfortunately, the inning with the hit, he walked the first batter, and a perfect sacrifice by Pena got him to second base. And Galva's lone hit of the game brought the run in to tie the game up. Gilbert Galva was popped to third and struck out. Solid shot to left field, over the left fielder's head, all the way back to the fence. He was awful slow going down to first base. That was going to be a close play at second base. He winds up with a double. And they're going to run for him. Fuentes will run for him. He got all of that one and drilled it to the fence, but I don't know why. All of a sudden, he was awful slow going to first base, and then he almost stopped at the first base. And if the throw was on the money, it was going to be a very close play at second base. So, Danel Fuentes, or Danel Fuentes, will run. Rodriguez, the pitcher. Let's see if they bunt. English with the go-ahead run at second. Swing and a miss. They didn't show bunt. Rodriguez with a chance to help himself. He's the pitcher now of record. Popped up, long run, it's going to make it up in the seats. Pop back and out of play, up in the seats again. Wilfredo Perez is the on-deck hitter. Took something off, it went high and inside. High and away for a ball. Hit Solly in the left field for a base hit. They're going to hold the runner at third. And the runner on the throw across will go to second base. So Rodriguez gets a base hit. So it's second and third with nobody out for Wilfredo Perez. The go-ahead run at third. Insurance at second. And it brings the conference out to the mound. Solid shot. But the runner at second had to wait to see if the ball went by. And when he finally saw the ball go by, they held him up at third base. So Bernard is coming out. I think he's going to shortstop. And Jordan Rodriguez will be the new pitcher. Bernard will go to shortstop. Rodriguez will be the new pitcher. So Julian Rodriguez will be the new pitcher, and he'll be facing a pinch hitter. Eldry Bonilla will hit for Perez. Saugus will bring the infield in. Bonilla would love a base hit, but he wants to put the ball in play and bring that runner home from third. Missing inside for a ball. First real threat by English. They had a runner at second, and Galva got the base hit to knock in the one run that tied it. But they haven't had any real threats until now. Bounce off the catcher. Nice job by Sirocco to keep it in front of him. It bounced up the line towards third base, but it wasn't anywhere near enough for the runner to come home. Two and 0 the count. Swing and a miss. In for a strike. Jordan Rodriguez coming back. Started to pull the trigger on a pitch in the turf. They checked with the base umpire and he said no, he didn't swing. That was close. He almost swung at that pitch. It was bouncing right at home plate. So a big pitch coming up for both teams. Hit off the shortstop. I'm going to give him a hit because I don't think he could have made a play anywhere. Shortstop Bernard just come off the mound. He had to go way to his right, had to lean across his body, and even if he got it, he couldn't make a play at first base. He couldn't make a play at third base. So it's got to be a base hit. English get their lead for the first time. In for a strike. So Bonilla with the pinch hit knocks in the run. He's at first base. First and third, still nobody out. The runner takes off. They let him go. So it's second and third again with nobody out still. But now there's a run in. Thomas has struck out and flied to center. Popped up. Long run. Not going to get there. It's up in the seats. Good effort by Sirocco. He just ran out of real estate. Hit to right field, right at the right fielder. And the base runner went off the base down the line and couldn't tag up. He went down the line and didn't tag. He had to go back to the bag, and they got it back quickly. He couldn't score. So instead of a sacrifice fly, it's still second and third with one out for Josue Prandy, who was struck out, walked, and scored. He scored on Galva's single to tie the game, but that, all you young kids at home, you stay on the bag at third base. If it bounces for a base hit, you score easily. If it doesn't bounce and the right fielder catches it, you can tag up and score. But if you go 15 feet down the line, you got to go back to third and tag up, and you don't score, which is what English just did. In for a strike. Swing and a miss. They like that high pitch. Off the catcher. The runner's coming home. Safe at the plate. So Rodriguez didn't score on the fly. He scores on the wild pitch. And English has a little bit of breathing room. It was in the turf, bounced off the catcher. Rodriguez is a little late breaking because he didn't see it, but he beat the throw. It was close at the plate, but he's in safely. And English has a little bit of breathing room. And that's ball 4. Kyle Furlong will be up for the first time. He came in to catch in place of Pena. So first and third with one out. Let's see what happens if they send the runner. In for a strike. The runner takes off. They throw it down wide. The runner at third doesn't go. So Prandy easily steals second. It's now second and third again. They've had second and third through this whole inning. Still one out. Furlong is the 6th hitter in the inning. Solid shot coming on, can't make the play. everybody has to go back. They were all running. He trapped the ball. Bloom came on strong, but he shot hopped it. It's a base hit for Furlong. He trapped it. They couldn't run. That's the case where they couldn't run because they didn't know it was recorded or not. The runner at second was going to third. But the bases are loaded now with one out. And Sirocco has a problem with his catcher's mitt. Changed his gloves. So Furlong dumped it. Bloom made a nice play because if he doesn't pick that, it goes by him. 2 runs are going to score and Furlong's going to get extra bases. Instead, the runners at second and third had to hold up because it was close. He was coming towards home plate. And it was shallow in the outfield. And they had to make sure he didn't catch it so they couldn't run. And then Bloom got it back very quickly to the infield. Hit the shot. If they don't get 2, they throw it away, another run's going to score. Pietro. Two runs come home, the ground ball. Pietro gets an RBI on the ground ball. And they missed the double play. They threw it away at first, and on the throwaway, Prandy scoots home with the 4th run of the inning. And Gilmer Galver is the 8th hitter in the inning. Solidly to shot. They throw him out. So English puts a hammer to the 1-1 tie. They get 4 runs in the inning. The error helped them to get the last one. A wild pitch brought one in. And now all of a sudden, that 1-1 game is now 5-1 English over Saugus going into the 7th inning. Rodriguez will start his 2nd inning. This is Julian Rodriguez. Jordan Rodriguez was the pitcher for Saugus in the 6th inning. And now it'll be Julian Rodriguez, and he can get the win here if he can shut Saugus down. We'll have a pinch hitter. Connor Kelleher will hit for Cruz Fuentes. And then back to the top of the order for Saugus. English had 1 run, 1 hit going into the 4th inning. They got 4 runs on 4 hits, helped out by a wild pitch and the throwing error, trying to get a double play at first base. Brought in 2 of the runs. Hit foul towards third base. Way up and in for a ball. Low for a ball. Hit back out of play. Chop foul again. That lacrosse game with the Jets playing over it. Manning is over. I'm looking, St. Mary's baseball team is here. They're going to practice here. They get to practice here because there's no game afterwards. Furlong set up outside. Hoping Kelleher would chase, but he laid off. And that's ball 4. That's 5 walks given up by English pitching. And Cruz Fuentes is going to go back in and run. So Kelleher batted for Cruz Fuentes, and now Cruz Fuentes goes in and runs for Kelleher. High and tight for a ball. Braden Crawford, the third baseman, grounded a short. Hit a solid shot to center field that Galva tracked down. Last time up, he bounced out to the pitcher. He's facing Rodriguez for the first time. High again, 2-0. That was way inside. He swung and tipped it right into the mitt of Kyle Furlong. So instead of 3-0, it's 2-1. Missing wide. On the verge of walking the first 2 hitters. Hopped up, it's going to make it up in the seats. And the count goes full. Reaches for that one. That might have been ball 4, but he's got 2 strikes, so has to protect the plate. Looks like we might, I don't know if it's track practice. So whole half the city of Lynn is overrunning around Manning Field. Hit to short. They get the important one. Beato with another nice play. So Crawford changed places with Cruz Fuentes at first base. It brings up Cam Sirocco. He tripled and scored the first run. He's walked the last 2 times, and he's facing Rodriguez for the first time. High for a ball. Cam Sirocco up. Nathan Sirocco on deck. High again, 2-0. 3-0. On 4 pitches, he walks for the 3rd time. That's going to bring a trip out to the mound. So Benson walked 4. Rodriguez has walked 2. That's 6 walks given to Saugus. But he only managed the 1 run. They've had base runners in every inning, but they haven't been able to come up with the big hits. They only got 3 base hits. And I think we're going to get a change. So more changes for the Bulldogs. Gilbert Galvo will be the new pitcher. Benson, who was at second base, originally the starting pitcher, will go to first base. Thompson was the original second baseman, went to left field. He's back at second base. Julian Rodriguez, who came in to relieve Benson on the mound, is going back to left field. So changes all over the place as Saugus puts 2 on with 2 walks with an out. So they need another base runner to bring the tying run to home plate. Nathan Sirocco was walked, lined to left, and flied to left. Gilbert Galbo will try to end it. He takes a little bit too much time. Sirocco steps out. We'll get back to baseball. Low for a ball. Swing and a miss. Took a good cut at that one and swung right through it. Hit in the center field for a base hit. Galva comes up quickly. Saugus is not going easy. They have a pulse. They have the tying run at home plate. So 2 walks and a hit. Galva got to it quickly. They didn't send a runner. They don't need a run. They need 4. Danny Zietz has struck out. Hit a shot to right center field that Galva made the play of the year on. That should be 2 ESPN highlights. And then he flied out to center field. Galva working quickly. Down and in for a ball. So Saugus has a pulse. Not a strong pulse, but they have a pulse. Hit in the left field for a base hit. 2 runs are going to score. Zietz gets the hit, gets 2 RBI. So don't look now, but Saugus has the go-ahead run at home plate. They get the tying runs on base. Still only 1 out. Jordan Rodriguez is now the pitcher. He was the shortstop. Reached on an arrow, walked, and popped to second base. He looked like he was going to make an easy double play, and Beato forgot the ball. That was going to be a double play to end the game. Instead, it's an error. And Saugus has the tying runs in scoring position. Connor Bloom popped to the pitcher, line to right, line to the shortstop. So don't go away. Off the catcher, the runner's going to score. Swing and a miss one off the catcher. The tying run is 90 feet away. The go-ahead run is at second base. It looked like English had this one wrapped up. And here comes the Sachems. That looked like an easy double play. Beato had it, and he was running to second base. And a wild pitch is going to tie the game up. And the go-ahead runner's at third. Beato charged it, had it, was running to second base to tag the bag, make the throw to first, double play, game's over, and he forgot the baseball that was behind him. So a couple of walks and a big error, and all of a sudden, the game that looked like a lock for the Bulldogs, Saugus has the go-ahead run at third base with one out. A walk, a force out, 2 hits and an error. Pop back foul. Bloom right now just wants to put the ball in play someplace and bring the run home. So English broke the tie getting 4 in the 6th, and now Saugus looking to get back in the lead, getting 5 here in the 7th. That's going to be out of play. If you told somebody this, they would have said you're crazy. Who could have possibly foretold this? Swing and a miss for the strikeout. Two away. They leave it up to Ty Riley. He's got 2 hits and 3 trips. Sam was in between. He grounded out short to first. He got a hit against Benson. He got a hit against Rodriguez. He's looking to make it 3 for 3 and get a hit against Galva. In for a strike. Looking forward to the bottom of the 7th. English will have 3, 4, and 5. Missing down for a ball. So a walk, a force out, and a walk. And he brought Galver in to finish it off. He gave up 2 hits in the error. Way up and in. Nice stop by Furlong. That was ticketed for the backstop. It bounced right at home plate, but he blocked it nicely. Keeps the runner at third. Off the catcher again, but Furlong with a nice stop. Ty Riley draws the walk. They leave it up to Trey Riley. Now, if he steals second, let's see what English does. We're going to have a conference to talk about it. Nobody could buy it. It was 1-1. Saugus had a run in the first. English finally got a run in the fifth with their first hit of the game. People had base runs, but they couldn't get anybody home. And all of a sudden, boy, did that change. English got 4 in the sixth. Their fans got excited. English is going to pick up their 8th win. Saugus is going to pick up their 10th loss. And then all of a sudden, here comes Saugus. 3 walks in the inning, an error, along with 3 hits. 2 hits. And all of a sudden, it's 5-5. And Saugus has the go-ahead run at third base with 2 outs. You would think he would steal second base. He doesn't have to. Riley got hit. So they batted around. Kelleher pinched hit for Cruz Fuentes. And now Cruz Fuentes, who were back into run, re-entered the game. He's now the hitter with 2 outs and the bases loaded. And we're going to get another pinch hitter. Chris Mason is going to hit. So Fuentes is going to be pinch hit for twice in this inning. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Keller hit for him leading off the inning, drew a walk. They bat all the way around. He's batting again, and they're going to send up Chris Mazin to hit for him. So the bases are loaded with 2 outs in a tie game here in the top of the 7th. High for a ball. So through 6 innings, Saugus could only get 1 coming in the first inning. Through 5 innings, English could only get 1. All of a sudden, both teams have erupted for 8. And we'll get a pinch runner at first base. I don't know how Cam Bernard can pinch run. He was the pitcher and he was being hit for. Well, excuse me. He's running for the designated hitter, so I would assume that they're coming out questioning the pinch runner. He stayed in the game. He didn't come out. He was being hit for. He played shortstop. He was still being hit for. Now he's running for the man that was hitting for him. You gotta be a psychologist to handle all these goings on at baseball games. So Bernard would not be hitting initially because he was being hit for. Now he would hit. He was the starting pitcher. They're discussing it now with the Saugus coach. Now they're going to discuss it, I think, with the base umpire. English questioned how he can come in and run, but he can run because he's running for the hitter who's hitting for him. And now he would become personally the DH. They would not have a DH because he's playing shortstop. So now they're going to try to explain it to Esteban Paula. So he was being hit for by Trey Riley. Now he's running for Trey Riley, which means that he would hit for himself, and they would not have a DH. He left the mound to play shortstop when the shortstop, Rodriguez, went to the mound. And now they're still discussing it. So it's just a question. They lose their DH. Bernard will have to hit. Riley comes out of the game. And it's taken an awful long time to do this. We're back, I think. They've been spending close to a half an hour battling over the pinch runner at first base. They put Trey Riley back at first base. They were going to have Bernard run for him, and now they put Trey Riley. They could have done this a half an hour ago. So the bases are loaded with 2 outs here in the 7th inning. The umpires, absolutely incredible. In for a strike. It wound up with the coach going back to third base coaching. English went back to the dugout, and the trainer for English was still discussing the incident with the umpire out on the field. That's how amazing it's got. That one's in the turf. Nice stop by Furlong again. He helped English out quite a bit. This is Chris Mason, pinch hitting. Cruz Fuentes is going to pinch hit twice in the same inning. That one bounced in front of home plate. Gilbert Galva threw 40 pitches while they were discussing what was happening. In for a strike. We're coming down to one pitch. This has been a bizarre game, and this made it even more bizarre. Big pitches coming up here. Galva started, stopped, stepped off. Saugus thinks it's 3-2. So it's 3-2. The umpire says 2-2. Saugus went crazy again, saying no, it's 3-2. And he said, no, it is. It's 3-2. So this is the biggest pitch of the game coming up. Hit foul back, and we'll do it again. The tension mounts. So a few fans here are sitting on their hands wondering what the heck is going on. Another big pitch coming up. Chop, bobbling it, and they throw it away. 2 runs are going to score. Galba had it, bobbled it, and threw it over everything. So after all that, Saugus has got 6 runs in the inning. They batted 10. They stop again by Furlong. So what looked like an easy win for English, getting 4 and picking up a 5-1 lead going into the 7th inning. They're now trailing 7-5. Swing and a miss. Crawford is grounded to short, line to center, bounced to the pitcher, reached to the fielder's choice, and scored in this inning. He's up for the 2nd time. Hit foul out of play. Cruz for Wentz, who led off this inning, being hit for, and got hit for again. And the second hitter, the first hitter walked. The second hitter looked like the inning was over, bouncing it to the pitcher. Galva bobbled it and hurried to throw and threw it over the first baseman's head, and 2 runs scored. And Saugus got 6 runs in the inning. Crawford is the 11th hitter. And we finally end the inning with a strikeout. So we thought the top of the 7th would end the game and English would be celebrating. Instead, they're getting set to hit, and they need some runs. It'll be 3, 4, and 5 for English in the bottom of the 7th. A bizarre inning. Saugus got 6 runs on 2 hits. 3 walks, a hit batsman, 2 errors, a pass ball, a wild pitch, and then that almost half-hour wait while they discussed who could pinch run at first base. So 6 runs on 2 hits. They batted 11. They scored a couple on the error, a pass ball, a wild pitch. They got 2 on one of the base hits by Zeitz. And now English needs 2 to tie. Terriel Benson has reached an error, fly to center, and line to center. Jordan Rodriguez has a chance to be the winning pitcher. Who would have thought that going into the 7th inning? That That one bounces to the backstop. That one goes to the backstop. 3-0. Rodriguez has been sitting for a long time with everything that's going on. On 4 pitches, Benson draws a walk. Yeah, that's going to bring a trip out to the mound. Gilbert Galva has popped to third, struck out, doubled and scored a run in that 4-run inning. And now we're going to get a pitching change for Saugus. Braden Crawford will be the new pitcher as he tries to nail it down. English will have the tying run at home plate. Who knows what could happen in this wacko game. Nothing would surprise me now. This is why a long time ago I stopped saying I've seen it all. All these years I've been doing this. In for a strike. Gilbert Galva. He's on the verge of taking the loss. 2 quick strikes. Hit in a right field for a base hit. Don't go away. English now has a pulse. Julian Rodriguez, who could have got the win on the mound, is the hitter. He has struck out, reached on an error, singled and scored. So the tying runs are on base. Low for a ball. So don't go away. Anything can happen in this contest. Low again, 2-0. Missing, 3-0. And that's ball 4. So Saugus was celebrating a big 6-run inning to take the lead. They need 3 outs. We're in good shape. All of a sudden now the tying runs are in scoring position. The winning run is at first base with nobody out. And now the English fans are getting excited. And it's white knuckle time in the Saugus dugout. Low for a ball. Wilfredo Perez got hit by a pitch, bounced into a fielder's choice, singled in a run. And running for him, Bonilla scored a run. High and tight for a ball. 2-0. In for a strike, 2-1. So it's a big track meet. 3 teams over there at Manning Field having a track meet. Hit foul back, the count goes 2-2. St. Mary's players have been waiting a month to go out and practice. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So one away for Engel Thomas, who was struck out, fly to center and line to right. His line to right should have got him an RBI, but the runner at third, thinking it was a base hit, went halfway home, had to go back and couldn't tag up. In for a strike. Braden Crawford trying to shut it down for Saugus. English trying to pull out an unbelievable game. In for strike 2. Hit off the first baseman. Safe at first base. That pulse just got a little bigger and a little stronger. As now the winning run is at second base. The tying run at third with one out, and now the umpires are getting together. The Saugus coach asking for help. He's safe. And he was safe. First baseman never got to the bag. So the bases are loaded for Josue Prandy, who was struck out. The last 2 times he walked, and both times he walked, he scored. So here we go in this bizarre game. A run in, the tying run at third, the winning run at second base. Saugus brings the infield in. In for a strike. Both teams thought they had this in the bag. High for a ball. Kyle Furlong on deck. They're going to get a pitch runner. Saul Herrera is going to run at third base. For Galva. If you wrote a book about this, people would think you were crazy. You couldn't even possibly think of making up something like this. And yet here we are, living through it. Right down the middle for a strike. Brandy is looking to put the ball in play someplace and bring the tying run home. Wide for a ball. Swing and a miss. So they leave it up to Kyle Furlong. He went in to catch in place of Pena, and one time he got up, he got a base hit. He wishes he saved it for now. Saugus will move back. In for a strike. Crawford has come on and got 2 big swinging strikeouts. Either way, this is going to be a very tough loss. Quickly 0-2. He strikes out the side, and Saugus wins this bizarre matchup. English leaves the bases loaded, the tying run at third. Saugus led 1-0 until English tied it up in the fifth on a big RBI hit by Galva. English looked like they put it away. In the bottom of the sixth, they got 4 runs. One scored in a wild pitch, one scored an RBI single by Perez, 2 scored on an error, and they were leading 5-1 going in to the top of the seventh. Saugus gets 6 with 2 base hits. They scored on a pass ball, a wild pitch, 2 scored on errors, 2 scored on a base hit by Zeitz. They took a 7-5 lead. English gets a walk, a hit, and a walk. They got the bases loaded with nobody out after a strikeout. An error scores the run. They got the bases loaded. The tying run at third, the winning run at second with 1 out. Crawford strikes out the last 2 hitters, and a tough loss for the Bulldogs. They were excited about last night's win over Glasgow, and now they virtually give one away here to Saugus, as Saugus wins it 7-6 in a bizarre game. You can't make this stuff up. No run scored for Saugus going into 1 run scored going into the 7th inning. They got 6. No run scored for English going into the 5th. They got 1. They got 4 in the 6th inning. They needed 3 outs to get their 8th win. They looked golden, and they gave it away in the 7th with errors and pass balls and wild pitches and walks and a hit batsman. And Saugus gets the lead, and then Saugus has to hold on as English scores a run, has the bases loaded with 1 out, and 2 straight strikeouts by Braden Crawford swinging. Leaves the tying run at third, the winning run at second, and English gets a very difficult loss. For English, Biedo had a walk, a reach on a fielder's choice, getting an RBI. Galva got an RBI double and made an outstanding defensive play in center field. Benson reached on an error, walked and scored a run. Gilbert Galva had a double and a single, scored a run. Julian Rodriguez was on base 3 times, an error, a walk, and a hit, and scored a run. Wilfredo Perez got hit by a pitch, reached center fielder's choice, had an RBI single, and running for him, Bonilla scored a run. Prandy had 2 walks, scored twice. Kyle Furlong had a base hit, but English comes up short. So after celebrating a big win against English that went very late last night, they had a long game tonight, a long discussion to decide if they could have a pinch runner or not. And it winds up putting a runner back in the game, wasting all that time. And then Saugus gets 6 in the top of the 7th. English gets 1 back, leaves the tying run at third, leaves the winning run at second, and a horrible loss for the Bulldogs. They'll drop to 7-6. Saugus will go to 6-9 in a game that, when I tell people about this that weren't here, they're not going to believe me. But a bizarre game, as I have ever seen. 7-6, Saugus beats Lynn English here at Frazier Field. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm John Hoffman saying we'll see you next time.